All right, it's the end of the first week in June, and we're going to take a look at the trees here. With the pear tree, everything looks great. Just this morning, I went and thinned it to one fruit per cluster there. So there was, each one of these usually had like 2 or 3, maybe 4. So I went and thinned them out to just one because I read that will help with the fruit production, make them bigger, and also decrease disease and issues. So really leafy. So again, the green growth is getting pretty big. I still haven't came back to try and pull some of the leaves to make it not so bunched up there. I'll try to do that later today, but that's what's going on there. So it looks there's a lot less fruit now because I thinned it, probably about 3 inches or so in the 5-gallon bucket of all the little leftovers. So we'll have hopefully have bigger, juicier fruits. The cherry tree is definitely the one that's changed the most. The cherries last week were this kind of yellow, the yellow with a little red there. That's pretty much was most of them. Now there's only a few of them that are like that, and most of them, if you can see, are red. And they're not ripe yet, but they are almost. So you can see there, they're mostly red with yellow, but even if they're fully red, it's still not quite ripe. These ones they look like they're ready, but they're not. They need to get a dark red, almost blackened a little bit. So that is what's going on. So we've got a ton of fruit there. You can see the giant clusters, and in the part that I didn't get a chance to prune, you can see tons and tons of cherries, just huge giant clusters up there because there's no competition for them, so they're just thriving wonderfully. Unfortunately, it's attracting all the birds and they're coming around, but that's just something I gotta deal with cherries. So anyway, lots and lots and lots of red fruit. Unfortunately, still got quite a few aphids around, but right there, just right now, I believe that is a ladybug larva right there on the leaf there. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Haven't actually seen too many over here yet. Usually it takes a while for the ladybugs to come over here and find it, like they did on our peach tree, but I'm just gonna let this one go and let nature take its course and not do too much with it. But there's the larva crawling around there, hopefully eating those aphids, because there are a lot of them. But overall, it's a small portion of the tree. There are definitely pockets of it, but with it being small scale, and especially now that we're so close to harvest, I'm just gonna leave it alone and deal with it later. So anyway, lots and lots of red cherries, just not red enough. So yeah, you can see way up there, just like an antenna calling the birds to come over here and steal my cherries. But anyway, the apple tree looks good. We got lots of fruit set. This one I do need to thin, hopefully today. As you can see, when they have the cluster here, they'll have that cluster which has, this one has 1 king fruit in the middle, and then 4 other fruit around it, and this one didn't quite make it. But that's kind of what will happen, and if you don't go in and thin it, all those will try to mature, and then obviously, like you can see, here's a double one, there's like a dozen of them there. So if we don't go in and thin that, there'll be way too much, which will most likely lead the tree to go into the every other year cycle like it did the past on us. So we're going to try and avoid that with thinning it out, and then also pruning it more in the next fall or winter. So yeah, so I'm going to come through here. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to come through here and thin these out. Unfortunately, they don't pop off really easy, so you have to use some shears, and there's a lot of leaves, so it'll take a little bit of time, but I'm going to get it done. So with the peach tree, everything looks good. There's no, if you can look now, there's no yellow leaves anywhere, or hardly any. Obviously the ones that were really bad I blasted off when I blasted the aphids, but the aphids have totally been controlled because of the ladybugs coming out. And so they have taken care of it. I thinned the peaches today, so you can see up there, there's lots of them, but I did take a bunch of them out to space them out because they were all clustered everywhere. So this will allow them to grow bigger and not be so bunched up, and hopefully not have any problems and diseases. So I did remove about 3-4 inches of the 5-gallon bucket full, so that'll be thinned out, and hopefully we'll get bigger, fatter, juicier peaches that'll have less problems. Second pear tree here, doing great. Lots of leafy, lots of growth, and still lots of pears. So I'm gonna have to thin this one as well. Make sure there's only one per bunch. Plus we got a whole lot of fruit here on this stuff. It's completely hanging down now, even though the fruit's barely even setting. So I'm gonna try and train these limbs away from there. You can see that most of the fruit is on this part right here, from here to here. That's all the way up against the fence. So I'm gonna have to try and train that back out with some rope and stakes, see if I can't get that back over here and under control. Apricot tree looks good. Once again, there's not a whole lot of fruit this year because of the frost, but they're looking good. The ones that are there, the tree looks good. That's important. And we are getting some new growth over here, this red part, hopefully in this towards the west side here, where it's open now with the trees gone. So we'll plan for the future there and get that. But they are looking good here. We're still quite a ways from harvest, but they look good and healthy, the ones that are there. So that's the thing with the cherries too. Last year the harvest wasn't until the end of June, and now it's the beginning, and it probably will be at least the middle by the time it's harvested. So I'm not sure if this early spring has sped the process up, or just, you know, everything's warmer, but we'll have to see. So our raspberries are way too overcrowded here. As you can see, they have completely grown over from the fence, or the edge, all the way to the house. You can't get over there at all. There's one little spot over there. But the cool thing is we are seeing some red berries. I haven't tested any yet. I don't think they're quite ripe, but there's a couple of them right there and around that are ripening. We will probably won't be too long before we'll see them ripen up. So that's exciting. Once again, the unexciting part is the fact that it's just such a huge jumbled mess in there that picking it's going to be kind of a chore. So that's why I have got to thin these out this fall and get this under control, because as you can see, it's just a jungle in there. So over here where it's the newer growth, it's thinner. We'll be able to pick the stuff that comes over here if there's a lot, not a whole lot, but be able to kind of control this a little more. And over here where it was once again nothing, it's coming. So we will, like I said, look forward to the future when we have there. Our strawberries, the ones here in the box are doing okay, but looks like some of the leaves are starting to turn. I'm thinking it's from this issue with the rest of the trees in the yard, but I hope not. But it looks like that stuff is spreading, so hopefully we'll get somebody out here soon to come take a look at it. Strawberries themselves as a overall look really good, except for, once again, these ones here as well are looking that brown and crunchy. Not good. They're growing well, and they're producing lots of fruit. There were a few red last week, but now there's even more, and they look, they're small, but they are red, but they don't taste very sweet at all. And I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that, but just not very sweet. So even a week later, after the first red ones appeared, still just not that sweet and very, very, very tiny. So I think one of the issues might be the runners, because there are a lot of runners out here. I was looking earlier at some of these patches. You can see the runner going off here. There's one coming from there. And they're really all over. And then here you can see there's one there, one there, one there, setting off a few. So I think that might be the issue, is because I'm not coming in here and clipping out the runners, they're putting all the energy in there, or just the fact that the strawberry plants have been are old and tired. I'm not sure, but there's little runners everywhere, and what I need to do is come in here once they get established, pull them up and retransplant them somewhere else so that I can work on renovating the bed. I don't know if it's the soil or what, but so we do have berries, and that's exciting, but they're just not very sweet, and they're very tiny, so that part not so exciting. So, and as you can see here, something's eating them, but they're not very sweet. So anyway, that is what's going on in the fruit land, and so hopefully next week we should definitely have the cherries, maybe even some first few raspberries. With the strawberries, we'll keep picking them and hope that they get sweeter, but that's it for now.